Dear friends, today's first reading in the Gospel invites us to look closely at one of Mary MacKillop's virtues, which is incredible childlike trust in God's loving providence. When it says, not to worry about tomorrow, tomorrow will look after itself, that doesn't mean that we stop planning, that we do not do our best anymore to make sure that tomorrow is looked after and provided for. What we are being invited to do is, yes, to do what we normally can, but to leave also incredible space for the good Lord, for Him to work, for Him to provide, for Him to sometimes shake and change our plans a little bit, so that His plans, which are incredibly better and loving compared to ours, could be done. It also invites us to an incredible, again as I said, childlike trust in God's providence like Mary MacKillop did. It's to trust that our Lord sometimes invites us to situations where we feel like we have nothing to bring or that we do not have the enough resources. And sometimes we forget that our Lord, who calls us to some of these situations, is also the same one who gives us the strength, the capacity, the resources, the grace to be able to be victorious in them, to be able to go through them. Mary must have had tons of this trust as she began her work, as she discerned whether this dream of hers was from God, and then to courageously lead a band of women, who were humble in their service and tried to look after the poor, the neglected. And then as they ventured into education, and then afterwards, as the sisters continued multiplying, as they tried to also minister in different situations. As we look upon Mary, our first canonized sister, we hope that of course there are many more in heaven, but we know that for us, Mary of the Cross is the first one to be inscribed in the canon of saints for us in Australia. We are also inspired that someone too from this Australian lands can become a saint, that you and I are called to this sainthood, this holiness of life, which is a call that is rooted in our baptism. Let's ask today for Mary's prayers for us, for our country, incredibly in need of guidance and healing, for the Northern Territory, incredibly in need of peace, and for our own persons and families, so that we too may be able to open our hearts and surrender ourselves to the God who loves us, provides for us, clothes us, and embraces us into life.